Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Annyeong, 저는 나디라입니다. In today's video, my friends and I will talk about South Korean culture. But before that, ever since many of us might know about K-pop, K-drama, Korean movies, or even Korean food. But is it actually that influence Korean tourism? It is not just that, but it is Korean unique culture. But wait, that's not my introduction. Here is the background of South Korean culture. Korea is one of the oldest cultures in the world. Koreans have passed down their traditions and stories for centuries. The country started to become split between North Korea and South Korea in 1945. And since then, the two Koreas have increased cultural differences. Some of the South Korean traditional arts are ceramics, music, crafts, dance, and paintings. You can often see these displayed if you are visiting the cultural and tourist areas of South Korea, such as Myeongdong. If you visit buildings or look at Korean artwork, you will often see dragons. In Korean culture, the dragon has a positive meaning. It symbolizes water, rain, clouds, and farming. Therefore, Korean dragons are often said to have lived in bodies of water, such as oceans, rivers, and lakes. The word for dragon in Korean is yeong. Yeong.
Annyeonghaseyo. Hi, I'm Salma, and now I'm gonna talk about the traditional Korean people, which is hanbok. Hanbok have been made since Joseon Dynasty. At the past, hanbok were used for daily life. That's why the style of hanbok is bigger and it's loose, so it will comfort to use and able to move freely. There are two types of hanbok for men and hanbok for women. Usually, hanbok have bright colors like red, blue, yellow, green, and etc. This is because Korean people believe that bright colors are able to ward off the evil spirits. These days, hanbok were used for certain occasions such as wedding, Chinese New Year, and also Chuseok or Korean Festival Harvest Day. Alright, now we talk about the woman's hanbok. As you can see from the picture beside me, this is the appearance of woman's hanbok. So, how does woman's hanbok looks like? So the first one there is jogori. Jogori is the top of hanbok, and then there is goreum. Goreum is a cord string, and norige. Norige actually is the accessories on hanbok. Usually it's hanging on the chima, and then keddong. Keddong is a curve placed at the end of sleeves. And the last one is chima. Chima is a skirt. Alright, we move on to the men's hanbok. As you can see from the picture beside me, this is the appearance of men's hanbok. So, for the first one, there is dongjong. Dongjong is a color of shirt. And then jogori. Jogori is a shirt of the top of hanbok. And then joki. Joki is the jacket or outer. And the last one is baji. Baji is the pants of hanbok. Okay, that's all from the traditional Korean attire. Thank you for watching.
It's Nur Suhaili binti Syabullah, and I will explain on the social customs and ethics of Korea people. So first is the concept of kibun. So kibun is a word with English translation, which is pride or face or mood or feelings or state of mind. If you hurt someone's kibun, you hurt their pride, cause them to lose dignity and lose face. Korean interpersonal relationships operates on the principle of harmony, So it is very important to maintain a peaceful, comfortable atmosphere at all times, even it is means to tell a lie. So it is important for us, for Korean people, to know how to judge the state of someone else's kibun, how to avoid hurting it, and how to keep your own kibun at the same time. And then nunchi is the ability to determine another person's kibun using the eye. So, since this is a culture where social harmony is crucial, being able to judge another person's state of mind is critical to maintain their person's kibun. So, nuchi is accomplished by watching body language and listening to the tone of voice as well as what is said. So, during meeting or greeting, bowing is the traditional way to greet in the South Korea. And also handshakes often accompany the bow among men. Your left hand should support your right forearm when shaking hands. Korean women do not always shake hands and may slightly nod instead of a full bow. And then they are also always bow to individuals when departing. So for communication style, it can be complicated in the South Korea due to an inherent dislike of saying no, as it is considered as a poor ethic. So good posture and positive body language is most beneficial in meetings. Patience and politeness also must be maintained throughout. Do not use excessive or over body language. Use two hands or support your right arm with your left when passing on business cards, gifts, or receiving an item. Also, there are respect and trust and also satisfaction are displayed through a deeper bow. Ethic is gift giving. Korean people are generous people and they are love giving gift. So, we must accept the gift with both hands but never open the gift immediately. We must wait until the person is absent. So, and the next one is return the favor and offer something of a similar value. Korean people enjoy Western gifts and items, so we must prepare before leaving home. If giving gifts, be sure to wrap and present them in an attractive way. Like put it in a box and avoid using dark wrapping paper, especially red. Instead we can choose bright or yellow or green. If we are invited to a Korean home, always take the hostess a gift, such as chocolates, sweet cakes, or flowers, but not alcohol. Next ethic is in the dining and also food. Always wait to be seated by host if given the seat of honor. It is polite to demonstrate a slight objection. So for the elders are served first and begin the dining process. Don't pour your own drink, although it is considered good manners to pour another's. Women often pour for men but not for other women. The last one is taboos in South Korea culture. So the first one is do not wear your shoes in places of worship or people's home. Next is do not put your feet on furniture. Do not drink or eat in public places while walking. Do not place your thumb between your middle and index finger while making a fist, as it is an obscene gesture. Do not use red ink. This is a symbol of death and it is reserved only for writing the names of the deceased. It is considered unlucky and suggests you wish death to the recipient. Do not use number of 4 if at all possible. Do not stand too close to people you are meeting for the first time. Keep an arm's length between you. So that's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
Annyeonghaseyo. Today I'm gonna talk about Korean food. So basically, great Korean food can be found virtually everywhere in vibrant Seoul, from street vendors along narrow alleyways to classy restaurants within 5-star hotels.
Many of these delicacies have existed for more 2,000 years and were only consumed by royal families in Korea. Today, Korean food has become so popular that locals and tourists alike describe them as savory, spicy, hearty, and nutritious delight that can be enjoyed at any time of the day. So the first one is kimchi. Kimchi consists of Korean cabbage, radish, pumpkin, onion, ginger, and scallion with chili powder, crushed garlic, and salted seafood, which is then left to ferment. This traditional cuisine is eaten on its own or with white rice and added into porridge, soups, and rice cakes. Next is bibimbap. Bibimbap consists of filling and nutritious dish that widely available in restaurants, food courts, and street markets. Depending on region and ingredient used, bibimbap can be served as a meat-based or vegetarian dish. Third, rice cake, red rice cakes or tteokbokki. Tteokbokki is a traditional Korean street food that is made with thick slices of garetok or boiled rice cake, fish cake, onions, diced garlic, salts, sugar, and assorted vegetables that are stir-fried in sweet red chili sauce. Distinguished by its bright red orange ensembles, this popular snack is usually sold at street vendors and independent snack bars. Next is bulgogi. Bulgogi consists of thin slices of marinated beef sirloin that are cooked alongside sliced onions, green peppers, and garlic using a charcoal burner, resulting in a distinctive smoky flavor. Prior to grilling, the meat is marinated between 2 and 4 hours in a mixture of soy sauce, sesame oil, black pepper, garlic, onion, ginger, and sugar to enhance its flavor and tenderness. Next is Korean stew or jjigae. This Korean stew usually contains meat, seafood, or vegetables in a broth seasoned with hot pepper paste, gochujang, fermented miso, doenjang, soybean paste, or salted fermented shrimp, sojot. Usually served as a plate cleanser between heavier dishes, jjigae has a similar consistency to a Western stew. Next is jjajangmyeon, a Korean Chinese fusion dish. Jjajangmyeon uses thick handmade wheat noodles topped with a raw cucumber slices and a mixture of salted black soybean paste, diced pork, and vegetables. Priced from 5,000 won onwards, this hearty noodle dish is great for you when you need a quick meal that doesn't break your wallet. It's also usually eaten by Single Black Day, which takes place each year on April 14. And last is samgyeopsal. Samgyeopsal is another staple Korean dish that requires little culinary skill, where chunky slices of pork belly are cooked on a grill at the diner's table. It is then wrapped in lettuce or sesame leaf with dipping sauce and accompaniments such as button mushrooms, green chili peppers, green onions, raw onions, and garlic, as well as kimchi. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Korean wave, Hallyu. South Korea is an example of a place that draws a lot of tourists as a result of popular culture, especially Korean pop music, K-pop, and Korean drama, K-drama. The popularity of Korean culture has been labeled as the Korean wave, with countries in Asia being especially influenced by it. However, Korean culture is becoming increasingly popular in the West too, demonstrated by the growing popularity of Korean restaurants as an example. Hallyu is a Chinese term which, when translated, literally means Korean wave. It is a collective term used to refer to the phenomenal growth of Korean culture and popular culture, encompassing everything from music, drama, to online games and Korean cuisine, just to name a few. South Korea is one of the only countries in the world, if not the only one, that has a dedicated goal to become the world's leading exporter of popular culture. It is a way for Korea to develop its soft power. Hallyu has been a blessing for Korea, its businesses, culture, and country image. Since early 1999, Hallyu has become one of the biggest cultural phenomena across Asia. The Hallyu effect has been tremendous, contributing to 0.2% of Korea's GDP in 2004, amounting to approximately 1.87 billion US dollar. More recently, in 2019, Hallyu had an estimated 12.3 billion US dollar boost on the Korean economy. And in 2017, South Korean President Moon Jae-in announced that the aim of spreading Korean film, music, and TV to 100 million people within 5 years. According to the Korean Foundation, recently released statistics that related to the Hallyu worldwide and said the number of the fans of the Korean wave increased about 11% or nearly 100 million in 2019 over the previous year. Around 23.3% of tourists to South Korea stated that they visited for K-pop and Hallyu experiences. The popularity of Hallyu was started when the Korean TV drama What Is Love All About broadcasted on Chinese television CCTV and followed by MBC TV drama Jealous. Both of them became the first famous cultural product from South Korea in 1993. In music, South Korean pop groups has flourished domestically in the early 1990s. So Taiji and Boys debuted on a Korean talent show in 1992, marking the start of modern K-pop with its integration of English lyrics, hip-hop elements, and dance. By the mid-90s, the K-pop star system had become entrenched in South Korea. So, I think Korean dramas really encourage people to go to South Korea for several reasons. Firstly, many of them are incredibly aesthetic with beautiful scenes that make you want to see the places in person. Lots of viewers then try to recreate iconic scenes. For example, people have tried to recreate a scene from Goblin at Jumunjim Beach. Historical dramas inspired people to visit the old palace in Korea and try on hanboks. Meanwhile, modern-day dramas present romanticized views of everyday life in South Korea with cute cafes and cozy apartments. Another reason why K-dramas encourage people to go to South Korea is that they introduce viewers to Korean culture. For example, I have found that even when food isn't the focus of the drama, it still features a lot and personally makes me really want to go and have Korean food. Two things that frequently appear and makes me really want to go to South Korea is Korean fried chicken and tteokbokki, which is our stir-fried rice cakes. South Korea is often high on a K-pop fans' bucket list because there are a lot of K-pop related tourist spots there. For example, previously fans of the Korean idol group BTS could visit the BTS pop-up store Map of the Soul in Seoul where they sell the concert merchandise and goods, and also fans of the K-pop group Blackpink could visit Blackpink House in Hyundai where the group had stayed to film a reality TV show. There is also K-pop Star Road in Gangnam where fans can take photos with bear sculptures that have the logos of famous K-pop groups printed on them. Thus, because of K-pop K-dramas, the growth of tourists to South Korea keep growing. Due to this Hallyu, people are more influenced to learn their culture, their language, and some of them even decided to further their study in South Korea. So also, not to forget the delicious foods, which made a lot of people desire to have a taste of it and learn how to make them. I personally would love to learn their culture because I found it fascinating, and in fact, this also influenced me to take Korean language as I'm planning to visit South Korea with my friend, and I think this is this way easier for me to communicate with people there.
So guys, we have reached the end of this video, and we can conclude that South Korea really do influence us as a Malaysian through their cultures such as dresses, food, K-pop and K-drama as well. And we have seen a lot of Malaysians really do being influenced, such as they watch K-drama and listen to K-music, K-pop every day in their daily life. And I hope in the future there will be many more Malaysians that will be interested in knowing and learning Korean culture. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching, guys.